All right, ladies and gentlemen, so things are clearly not going too well for certain people after the election, and Donald Trump winning was a massive blow to people like this, and there's been a lot of meltdowns, let's just say. You know, I spent an entire stream going over the meltdowns, having a laugh at it with you guys, and it's just been an absolute wild time. Well, some people are just not taking it as well as others, and one of them happens to be a Mass Effect writer. Now, this is actually pretty huge because you guys are aware after multiple videos on Dragon Age the Veilguard that they are abandoning the game. The game is going to be focused solely on just one particular experience, no DLC, no nothing, and they've moved everybody over to Mass Effect. And people are trying to cope and seethe and say, well, it's a different director on Mass Effect, so we shouldn't be worried. But I'm telling you right now, that is not the case.
You can't keep getting away with it!
I think it's pretty obvious at this point that we should all be very worried and very scared for Mass Effect 5. As I've said since the beginning, Mass Effect is cooked. I have no faith that the upcoming Mass Effect is going to be any sort of good, considering the BioWare that's currently in existence and is making this game. It's not like BioWare of yesterday is making this game, because if that was the case, maybe I would have a little bit of faith. You know, the original Mass Effect 1 and 2 and 3, and the original Dragon Age 1, 2, and Inquisition even though Inquisition started to fall off, but still, I would have a little bit more faith. We're talking about the Anthem BioWare. We're talking about Mass Effect Andromeda BioWare. And now we are definitely talking about Dragon Age the Veilguard BioWare that is making the new Mass Effect. And we're going to go over a particular writer that by all looks is, I mean, wow. So let's get into this article, guys, from That Park Place. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. So it says Mass Effect writer says that they are trying very hard to restrain the vicious need to lash out at other people following Donald Trump's presidential victory. Now, imagine, having your presidential candidate result in you wanting to get literally violent. That is an interesting notion that I honestly can never quite understand. And I'm sure a lot of you guys watching can't understand either, because you're grown-ass adults. But these people here, they are babies. They are babies in the body of an adult. And this is why they act like babies anytime things don't go their way. They've been living in an echo chamber for the last 4 some odd years, and now that echo chamber has bursted, and they don't understand what's going on, and they're lashing out because of it. So Mass Effect writer Casey Alexander, who wrote the tie-in book Mass Effect Andromeda Nexus Uprising, is not handling the news that President Donald Trump won the election for the president of the United States very well. On Blue Sky, and of course it's on Blue Sky, which, by the way, I feel like you guys are, if you're not on Blue Sky and you want to just find amazing leftist meltdowns, you should probably go on Blue Sky, because the content's got to be glorious. Alexander wrote, having reached a point in this game where the first night shrieks and wails and sober is no longer acceptable, tomorrow is a new day, but to get there is NyQuil time. Why are all these people addicted to NyQuil? I just don't understand. Every time these psychos talk about melting down, they always talk about taking NyQuil to go to bed. Like, are you guys really that crazy? Anyway, unsponsored, fuck this shit. I'm emotionally unstable for the next 5 hours. Sleep aid of choice. Quantity of Z's optional. Alexander added, well, actually, I can see where, so this kind of talk right here, you see how they're talking right here? Isn't this eerily similar to the codex entries for Tosh in Dragon Age the Veilguard, where it's just random mumbo jumbo? Like, none of it even makes fucking sense. It's just words that are put together in the hopes that it makes any sort of sense whatsoever. But let's be real, none of this shit makes sense, man. They are so insane, it's not even funny. It's really not even funny. Alexander added, if you can add whatever you need, try to get some sleep, even if it's scattered catnaps. Your brain needs the energy to function, and we will want to function. Yeah, because what they're gonna do is, for the next 4 years, they're going to make things a miserable hell, more so than they already have. If you guys think that the wokeness and everything is going away now that Donald Trump has been elected, let it be known that's not going to be the case. It's going to be a long journey and a long battle, and we are just getting started. Alexander then followed that up, writing, I'm trying hard to restrain the vicious need to lash out at other people. I am too furious, too spiteful, too exhausted, too flattened, too scared, and yet I'm incandescent with a rage that has only been this damaged body and mind to house it, bro. At this point, I really think that we have a serious, and I always say this all the time, mental illness problem, and I get it, and I'm going to say it again, but we have a serious fucking mental illness issue in this country. I think it's something that has been way too ignored for way too long, and one thing I hope Donald Trump does is try to do something about the mental illness in this country. If you can bring back, I don't know, asylums, bring back something that's going to genuinely help people instead of leaving them to their own will, into their own mental illness, I think that would be very good for the overall population, because people need to learn how to deal. That's what it is. People don't they don't know how to deal with issues. They're being babied, they're being coddled, and they think the world has to bend to them when the world doesn't work that way. They don't know how to be accountable for anything in their life, which is why they advocate for free things, free food, free money, free whatever. They advocate for all that because they don't want to work. They don't want to be accountable for their own success and their own life. In another post, Alexander added, "Y'all, I'll be streaming today. A lot of us are afraid and raw and grieving, so it won't be a scary game. I'm thinking Nightingale. It's pretty, fae, steampunk fantasy, and we could build a house while we chat, or smack creatures of darkness around. Either or, just running a little late, bro." At this point, man, listen, you got to get over it. Like, I really don't know what else to say other than that. This person is an absolute psycho. I wonder why that is, given the blue hair and the shaved side heads and everything like that. I think that these people are going to make our lives a living hell. I genuinely do. They are going to do everything they possibly can to try to continue to infect the gaming industry with their nonsense, and it's not going to end anytime soon. And we need to continue the fight. Do not get lazy and do not get complacent thinking that Donald Trump winning is going to be the end-all be-all. It is obviously a major victory, there's no doubt about it, and it's something that's going to allow us to continue to do what we do, especially more freely as time goes on, without having to worry about any kind of suppression or shadow banning or anything like that, although we still kind of have to deal with that on YouTube, but that's neither here nor there. This person is a prime example of what we are fighting against, and this is why we have to continue the fight. The fact that this person really thinks about getting violent over the fact that Donald Trump won the presidency is insane. I really do think it's insane, and it shows the mental capacity, let's just say, of someone like this. So ultimately, ladies and gentlemen, I wanted to bring this to your attention for two reasons. Number one, obviously it's another psychopath writer in the gaming industry that needs to be talked about, and number two, considering what's happening with Dragon Age: The Veilguard right now, this is just more proof that if you're not currently worried about Mass Effect, I'm gonna need you to get a little bit worried. I'm gonna need you to really think about this. For the people out there saying, "Oh, Mass Effect should be fine, it has a different director," yeah, I want you to really think about this. It's all hands on deck for Mass Effect 5, and this person is actively working on this game as we speak. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I will greatly appreciate if you get to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.